Hello, everyone. Hope we are all good. Oh, on this lovely, sunny, hot 34-degree day currently from what I'm seeing outside. How are we all doing? Let me know that you can hear me all okay. There should be a chat box there for you to be able to use. Attendees should be able to chat with me. Just let me know if you can hear me all right. You can see me okay. Welcome, everyone. Good to see you. Chris, thank you very much. Appreciate it. John, good to see you. Rupert, John, again. Got 3 Johns already. Good work. Happy days. Popular name today. Good stuff. God, you're all tuning in. You're obviously all as hot as I am, hiding inside. Who's lucky enough to have air conditioning where they are right now? I don't. I've got a fan on, so I hope you can't hear it anyway, should we say. Welcome. Just so you know, you're all in the right place. Today, we're going to be talking all around client acquisition, how to generate leads, and more importantly, how to leverage your social media activity and actually get some return from it and actually see some revenue out the back end. There's lots and lots of talk out there at the moment around social and what you should and shouldn't be doing to be generating results. And what I want to do for you today is share over the next 60 to 90 minutes, depending on how long I ramble on for, exactly what you need to be doing to be able to get a predictable and sustainable return week on week, month on month. So let me know, does that sound something that interests you? I hope you're all in the right place. I'm going to leave it probably for another minute just to let a few of the stragglers join. And then what I'll do is I'll share my screen, and then from there we will crack on. So all around lead generation, I'm just going to check to make sure all my phones are on silent because that went off last time. If you hear any building works going on, I apologize in advance. The builders have literally just decided to cause chaos outside my window. So if you hear anything, I do apologize in advance. I've kind of got this mic set up so it shouldn't, we shouldn't hear anything, to be fair. And let's get going. So share desktop 1. Can we all see if I do that there? If I open the chat box up so I can see you, I'm going to move my lovely mug over there. Right, can we all see? Paula, I have a meeting at 12 o'clock. Is there a chance of getting the recording? I might be kind enough to give you a recording. We'll see. Depends how kindly you might ask afterwards. But no, yes, there will be a recording. I do like to share them just because there is lots of information in here, and I speak at probably 130 miles an hour, I reckon. So there's always stuff that you can capture at the end of these. And to give you kind of like the theme throughout this presentation, and we're talking to you about our results, right? So how we generate 450 leads a week without a single penny on ads. We don't use paid advertising as anywhere in our marketing currently. And we are looking at it probably towards the end of this year, maybe towards the beginning of next. I think it is a good way of being able to generate business. But currently, with the way that LinkedIn's working and the processes that we've kind of got in place, and that's a really important word throughout today, we are seeing results literally every week at the moment. And I'm going to be sharing with you different stories from people, different examples from startup to corporate, multitude of different businesses that have worked with us in the past and how they've gone about doing it. So my aim for this workshop specifically is to provide you with as much advice and guidance as I can. So if you've ever let me know if you've ever attended one of my workshops before, by the way. Let me know if you're here for a second, third, fourth, or fifth time. If you have attended one, you'll know that I do like to give as much information as I possibly can. The content within them does tend to kind of stay the same. There's not much that tends to change. However, the findings and the research that we're putting into this stuff means that the evidence that I can kind of provide you to back up what we're saying is becoming more paramount at the moment. So Joe Britton's lost count. All brilliant. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. The second thing is to introduce you to our service. So we have a social selling and LinkedIn Academy that I'm going to be talking to you about at the end. Take us around about 10 minutes to go through. And then at the end, we're also going to have a Q&A. So what you will have inside of Zoom right now with where you are, you'll have a Q&A function. There's a button there that says Q&A at the bottom of your screens. That is where you ask all your questions. There are no questions that are off limits. I will answer every single one that comes through, and I'll be doing that at the end. So again, I'm going to be probably going through around about an hour's worth of content for you, 10 minutes at the end to talk about the product, and then we'll have probably 10, 15 minutes of the Q&A at the end, just so you're all aware. Now, For those of you that have attended one of my workshops before, you know that it's all about engagement. So you participating with me. So I'd love to know, before I get started and talk to you a little bit about us and what we do, I'd love to know a little bit about what you do. So in the chat box for me, could you just put in what it is that you specifically do, and what you are looking to get out of this session? Because if it's not included in this and we've got a theme throughout everyone's kind of like position and what they do, I'll tailor make it. So they're all slightly different, these workshops. So what do you do? As in, what business do you run? What job do you have? What is it that you're specifically doing day to day? And what are you looking to get out of today? Is it about lead generation? Is it about content? Is it about process? Like, what is it specifically? We've got Paul, graphic designer. Good to have you, Paul. Jeremy, coaching. Good to see you, Jeremy. Hope you're well. Colette, professional voiceover artist. This is amazing. Good stuff. Extine, good to see you. Offering factory improvement. So we've got a big variety of people here, which is amazing. Keenan's in property, amazing stuff. Director of role play training company, amazing. Accountants, Michael, good to have you. Technology consultants, Kevin, Michael is a new accountancy firm. We've got Will's. Okay, now it's going to get too quick. I can't keep up. Amazing. Oh, amazing to have you all here. Thank you all so much for that. It's good to get a bit of a vibe of who you are and what you're doing, because this stuff is actually what I'm going to talk to you about. Really, really simple. And you're going to almost kind of slap yourself in the face when you hear some of the stuff that I talk about. Because for me, I got so frustrated with trying every single social media and marketing strategy that was out there and not getting anything from it. So what I put into this is like the stuff that you need to do day to day to get results, and that's it. And I'll split it into 3 sections. Graham, good to see you. 3 sections. Number 1 is going to be about the product. So the importance of defining the right message, staying relevant, and framing an offer that stands out. This is the bit that so many people get wrong, and it's the bit where I can make the quickest difference. So the stuff that I'm going to be talking to you about in here is the bit that I need everyone's real attention to, because normally what's stopping you from achieving results lies in actually the 2 things, part 1 and part 2. So product, and then number 2 is process. So this is the overarching strategy that connects your social media activity to what we would call like proper lead generation. So the process that I'm going to take you through, I'm going to show you what you're doing wrong currently, or what the majority are doing wrong, should I say. And then I'm going to show you what right looks like. So what the most efficient way of generating leads really looks like. And then number 3 is then promotion. So this is the bit that most people just jump straight in at. This is where most people start. And it's all about like posting content, building your network and those sorts of things. And actually starting at that point is actually why a lot of people don't see the results in the speed that we normally do. And this is when I connect it all up. At the end, you're going to sit there and you can go, this makes complete and utter sense. And I can't believe I wasn't doing it before. That's the reaction that I want. So to answer this question and get it like completely out of the way, because some of you will know who I am. Some of you probably have followed me on LinkedIn already. Some of you may be connected with me on other social medias as well. But for those of you that don't, and you've just randomly appeared here today, my kind of area of expertise is around conversion, so social media conversion. I am the Chief Marketing Officer at Pipeline 44, and my theme for everything that I do is that actually, in terms of how good you are at social media, in inverted commas, it doesn't really matter. I've worked with people that are terrible at creating, and I've worked with people that are absolutely amazing at it. And sustainable results in the middle all comes through the combination of the things that I'm going to talk to you about today. It doesn't really matter too much. And that's the thing that I want to really, really focus in on is, doesn't matter if you're a complete beginner or a total expert, you can get results very, very quickly when you implement the right processes that I'm going to talk to you about today. And I know this because I've done it for quite a while now. Now, I'm not one of these veterans that's been going for 10 to 15 years. I'm 28. And I've been doing this since I was around about 23. So that was when I first started my first company. And it was when I started doing my first load of consultancy on social as well. It was my first year in business after building a following for myself. Now, I've studied pretty much every social media platform that there is. I've used Instagram. I have a following of around 40,000 people on Instagram. I've used YouTube, not as in I've grown a huge YouTube channel, but it plays a major part in our overall strategy. And I've also using LinkedIn day to day, TikTok day to day. I'm a podcaster. I use social media as a tool to be able to generate business. Without it, we would struggle. It's a real focus point for us. And over that time period, I've worked with pretty much every industry that there is. And I'm yet to find someone who's committed themselves to us that's not seeing results from this. Because again, what I'm talking to you about isn't rocket science. It's very, very simple, but there are key things within each point that we need to really hone in on. So whether you're a coach, a consultant, I know I saw someone from property that's in here, solicitor, any sort of service business-based owner, this will work. And you will probably already be using some of the things that I'm going to talk to you about today, but it's about joining them all together. So where I want to start with all of this is conquering the question of why. Now, LinkedIn's a platform that I use every single day, not because I love it, just because it's so useful. And there are a few key reasons as to why I've chosen LinkedIn as a platform, because like I said, I have a following on other platforms. My Instagram account used to be my main source of business, but because of the changes that have been going on with these other social platforms, I made the switch to LinkedIn. And these are the reasons why. Number one is because it gives you the ability to find and connect with your ideal clients easily. So some of you will already know how to do this, right? I'm not here to teach you how to use LinkedIn today. That's not the point. But whether it's via name, your business size, the industry, whatever it is, you have the ability of being able to search and filter to be able to get in front and connect with exactly who you're looking to get to. I couldn't do that on Facebook. I couldn't do that on Instagram. When even I go down the paid methods of being able to do this, I can't pinpoint exact individuals. I can only create audiences to be able to target. And for me, when I'm looking to really get in front of certain business sizes and certain groups of people, LinkedIn gives me the opportunity to be able to do that. And it will give you the opportunity to do it as well. Now, the other thing really is that it gives us the ability to send requests and also gives us the ability to immediately engage. Now, I know lots of people get this engagement and messaging thing wrong. I'm going to talk to you in part 3 today about how to get it right. And most importantly, the ability to be able to get in front of people that you just wouldn't be able to normally. And to give you like a prime example of this, I'm unfortunately, and I've said this in the previous workshop that I did, I'm unfortunately a Man United fan at the moment. It's like one of the most painful experiences I've been through when it comes to football. And whatever team I tend to support, whether it was growing up, being from Northampton, being a Cobblers fan, or then because my family are from Cardiff and being a Cardiff fan, or being a Man United fan purely because it was the only team I got dragged to see. Every football team I tend to support just goes downhill. Now, I actually was lucky enough to get Rio connected with me the other day, which is someone that I've reached out to. I've sent him a message actually to try and get him onto the podcast, but this doesn't happen on any other platform. You can get the attention of like Fortune 500 CEOs. You can get the attention of so many individuals on this platform that you just can't do on Instagram or Facebook or anywhere else. And I think this is, again, just such an untapped opportunity to be able to get the exposure that you're looking for on your brand. Just something, again, finding and connecting with your ideal clients, something which people talk about all the time, but don't pinpoint the actual power of it. I'm going to be talking to you a little bit more about that as we go through. Now, the second thing is the ability to get your content seen. Now, this is quite a touchy subject at the moment, impressions and organic reach, because like on my Instagram account, I hardly reach anybody these days. I'm lucky to reach 5,000 to 6,000 people per piece of content that I put out there. And I've got quite a big audience on that platform. Facebook's the same. TikTok is kind of the only one that rivals it, but it's not a B2B platform like LinkedIn is. So being able to reach, even like for me, with a very modest LinkedIn audience. So I have around about 12,000 followers on this platform now, right? And that's not a huge audience. Some of you will have bigger networks than me. And the ability to reach these people is still here on this platform. However, it is slowly reducing. So what I want you to realize here is the importance not of virality, but actually the importance of being able to get your content out, even if it's just in front of the people that you need to see it. So we're not talking about millions of views here. We don't need millions of views. We just need to get it in front of the people that need to see it. And like I said, being someone that's only got like a medium-sized audience, like for me, being able to reach that amount of people, that's powerful, and power that you need to be able to utilize as well. And there's certain content that you can create to be able to maximize that reach. But again, I want to emphasize this point. This opportunity, we've seen over the last 2 to 3 to 4 weeks, it is reducing. So if you're not creating right now, then it's time to really look at what we can do to change it, to start capitalizing on the B2B opportunity that's here when it comes to being, quite frankly, a nobody and still getting his content and information seen. The third and the final thing is this whole thing that we really focus on at Pipeline 44, which is having a campaign-led approach. Most people on LinkedIn have what we call a scattergun approach, where they'll send connection requests, they'll put content out there, they'll send some messages with like the hope that something will happen. Now, when you're kind of going through this sort of stuff, right, and you're working on campaigns, and I'm going to talk to you about 3 key campaigns a little bit later on. It comes in, it's actually in part 1 where we're going to focus. But you're currently sitting there as part of a campaign. And I'm going to show you this exact process a little bit later on. But I know that my LinkedIn activity is going to consistently generate me results because we're working in a step-by-step campaign-led approach. And the campaign type that you're a part of right now is what we would call an event campaign. So LinkedIn gives us the opportunity to run LinkedIn events. Let me know if you've ever run a LinkedIn event before, as in you've actually created a LinkedIn event on the platform. Let me know in the chat if you've ever done one of those before. But for us, they play a really, really key part in our overall process. Some of you would have received invites from me for this event, and that's the reason why you're here today, right? We leverage these for every aspect of our business. And once you master the art of like this specific campaign type, that's when things really start to connect together. So I know that when I put content out there, when I start sending my connection requests, when I start sending my messages, that it's actually with intent and leading people to a place where they may potentially be interested in a product or service of ours. If I just put this as a live on LinkedIn, you would be distracted by something else. You would go off and do something else. You're probably in the garden right now, sunning yourself up, a lot of you. There's distractions everywhere. But if I was doing it on LinkedIn, there'll be something that pulls you away. When you're on a workshop like this, it's a completely different mindset. I like to think that I've got your attention here because I can give you loads and loads of content for an hour and a bit. And you sit there at the end and you go, do you know what? Chris is actually talking a load of sense here. Or at the end, you go, I don't really agree with what he said. And either's fine. However, if I did this just on the platform, I miss a huge amount of opportunity. And with workshops, like over the last 7 months, we've generated over 4,500 leads for free using events like this. So this was one that we ran back in December. This was our top performing one of 2021. Like we're talking 2 weeks before Christmas. This stuff isn't normal. And it's an opportunity, again, to really focus in on when you have the right campaign approach. It's 1,000 attendees. We ended up generating 500 people. We collected 500 email addresses off the back of just that LinkedIn event. That's how powerful this opportunity is. And this is what we're focusing so much on at Pipeline 44 right now. So you may now know who I am a little bit. Some of you may know Sam Raffling. Let me know if you've heard, like, you know Sam and you've seen Sam speak before. And then you also may know Nick as well. So the 3 of us came together to found this company, because we just see day in, day out, people getting this social media marketing, this digital marketing thing wrong. And the way that we're looking at solving this problem is by changing your mindset from not looking at LinkedIn as this place where you just post content, you just connect and you just send messages, but changing it to a feeling of LinkedIn is a traffic source, which you connect to a database, which you can then earn the right to promote to as you go. And these campaign types I'm going to be talking to you throughout today are the difference maker between all of it. We spend lots and lots of time teaching people this stuff. It's been tried and tested, not just from our own campaigns, but with the just over 1,000 people that we have taught, whether that's in the academy, in masterclasses, agency clients, so on and so forth. This stuff has been like tested, and there's a number of you on here, because I can see the names that have joined that are already part of our services. And you will see what we're doing day to day and driving people through this process. And like, I know a lot of you, again, there's about 10 of you on here that are on here just to watch to see how we deliver these workshops as an example. And this is the stuff that we're looking to teach people, because it's about being proactive in the way that you market. Now, before I get started into all of this, I always ask this question because, I mean, my podcast is called Straight to the Point. For those of you that don't know, I do have this thing about being blunt, but I like to ask permission first. Do I have permission to be really honest with you today about what you need to be doing? And I may potentially hurt a few people's feelings when it comes to what you shouldn't be doing. All the yeses are coming in, but normally I have to drive you. You're already piling in and saying, yes, amazing stuff, good. So let's get stuck in, because this stuff I think is very, very eye-opening when you go through it. From my experience, there are a few key reasons why people don't see results from their social media efforts, right? Number one starts with that offer and that product. So whatever it is that you're selling, whatever it is that you're trying to put out there into the marketplace, it either isn't clear enough for people to understand, or it just doesn't stand out there right now for people to even pay any attention to it whatsoever, right? It's number one. Number two is that the message that you're putting out there isn't relevant to today's target market. So I've got an example of this that I'm going to talk to you about a little bit later on, but this message, your message, the way that you frame your workshops, the way that you frame your services, the way that you frame your products does need to change if you want to have the real maximum hit with the people that you're getting in front of. That'll become a lot more clearer in a second. Number three, this is a hard one to hear, the people just aren't worth following in the first place. How many people do you scroll past day to day? You can't even, you just sitting there on your phone, just endlessly scrolling past. That is the number one reason why people don't see results. They have no idea how to grab attention. And that's something I'm going to talk to you about in the content part of today as well. And we need to take a step back and really work out what it is that makes you special, so you can start to stand out in that newsfeed. And there are real ways in how you go about doing that. Number four is the bit that most people miss. It's the fact that they don't currently have a predictable and sustainable process that leads to conversion. Their strategy is based on hope. And if I just do more, then eventually something will happen. I want to tell you right now, doing more of the same thing of what you're doing right now, from the majority of people that I speak to on the calls that I have at the end of these things, only leads you to a place where you're wasting more time and getting less results. We need to take a step back and have a bird's eye view of what you're doing from a starting point to an ending point on a customer journey to get this working. And then number five, I actually have already said that, but the strategy is based on the hope of someone reaching out to them. And it's a real key word there. And I don't like saying it because it's a bit nasty, but it's the reality. Most people, no matter if it's on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, they're told that if they just show up, they just post more content, if they just connect with more people, then eventually it will happen. It's not the case. It's actually the opposite to that. So with that being said, let's get into part one. And this is going to start to address some of those key problems as to why. The importance of defining the right message, staying relevant, and then framing the offer that stands out. So the truth is that LinkedIn will not work for you unless you have a product and message that connects with your target market. And I'm going to tell you a story about a lady in a second that we work with on our academy, and how one simple change on her workshop process went from 0 sales after 3 attempts to generating just over £15,000, right? It's a real cool story. I'll tell you in a second. But the matter of the fact of all of this, right, is prospects, whoever it is that you're connected to, don't truly understand how great your product currently is. And quite frankly, if you go telling them in your content how great it is, then quite frankly, you're pushing them away even further because they just don't care. Prospects don't care how great you say your product is. All they care about is whether your product can solve the problem that they need solving. And the art of all of this is explaining it in the simplest way. And I want to give you 2 examples of this, right? Number one is this word social selling, okay? Who actually here really cares about the word social selling? Let me know that. Do you actually give any hoot about social selling and the words of it whatsoever? Like the answer, I hope, is going to be no. You don't care about it. You don't care about social media. You don't care about any of it. All you care about is how can I use these tools to generate me some leads, to give me some people to speak to. That's all you care about. Now, if I can present to you in the simplest way, the steps you need to follow to be able to generate more business, more leads, more success, the words that I actually use don't matter. All you need are the steps. And this message thing that I'm talking about here is where most people get it completely wrong. So we have a lady who runs an incredible consulting business. It's brilliant. She really, really drives home like how people can launch, how people can start to grow their companies. She has a weird and little wonderful niche that she works in, and she was running workshops for 2 years. 2 years she's been running workshops for. And this is the difference, right, Maker, when it comes to generating sales and generating leads versus not. 2 years ago, we had this weird pandemic hit. And at that time, I'm going to give you the real depth and the detail of this, right? At that time, people were on furlough and people were looking for new opportunities. So the workshop message that was created was, if you're looking to utilize the time that you've got on furlough to learn a new skill and to start your business, then this workshop is for you. This is something you need to take advantage of. And it landed perfectly. It was the right timing, the right place, the right message to the right people. And it generated consistent revenue for about 4 months. Now, over that time period, about 8, 9, 10 months, what happened was the world started to change again, didn't it? So suddenly, people were being taken off of furlough again. They were going back into their day-to-day roles. However, the issue was that message didn't change. So she was still talking about like how there's new opportunities to be able to do this, utilize the spare time that you've got, do this, do that. But the problem was that the people that were coming were sitting there and they weren't connecting with it. They were sitting back and going, but that's actually not me. I don't have as much time anymore. I'm sitting here and yes, I want the new opportunity, but I don't really have the time to be able to put into this to get it working. So what happened was these people were attending and then slowly fading away. And it took us a while to be able to work out because, again, we needed the data and the person to send it through to us to be able to see. But when I watched the webinar replay back, the workshop replay back, it was clear as day. The message needed changing. And this is the same thing with all of your businesses, right? Has your message stayed the same over the last couple of years, or have you been constantly changing it to try and get your target market's attention? Most people, when they first start their like branding work at the beginning, they get dead set on what they're about, but they don't listen to their audience as to what it is that they want. And therefore what happens is that no one really pays attention to them. So the first step of all of this is taking that step back and going, what message can I start putting out there that's going to start really relating and connecting to my ideal target market? And what happens is when you start to nail this down, it's going through a simple exercises, because none of this is actually difficult to do, right? If you've got a pen and paper out, these are the questions that you need to answer to be able to do it. The first one is, why should your ideal client care about you and your business? What are the reasons why? What is it that you're trying to do that's different to everyone else? Again, to give you the example of this, there are 88,000 LinkedIn experts out there right now. If we just went out there and spoke about LinkedIn day in, day out, we'd blend in with everyone else. Instead, what we really do is we pretty much give all of our LinkedIn information away for free. Like, there it is, I have it. Because we know actually that's not the stuff that makes the difference. It's the stuff that we're teaching inside the academy that makes the difference. The process, the message, the product, how you promote it in a way to be able to really attract people towards you rather than push them away. We know what our real selling points are and what makes us different. The second thing that we went through and did, and we do this with every single person, and you should do this as well, is answer the question, what have your ideal target market been doing? What have they tried? But in your eyes, you look at it and you go, they're just wasting their time. But that is not the right way of doing things. Like, if they just did this, it would work. But why is they like spending all their time? I'll give you my example, posting loads and loads of content, just sending random direct messages, hoping that someone's going to book a call with them. Like, people just keep doing that. It's just not going to work. However, that stuff will work if they get this stuff right. So we really pinpoint what that stuff is to be able to nail it down. What is that for you? And then drilling down that little bit further, what makes you special? Like, why is what you provide different to everything else? What are those key points? And try to make these as practical and as tangible as really possible. So people sit back and they look at it and they go, that makes complete and utter sense. How have I not seen that before? This is the stuff where you start to really make yourself stand out in the newsfeed, but also you keep people engaged throughout your customer journey. And this is just the importance of getting this stuff right. And I want to highlight it to you. Now, this lady started working with a couple of years ago, and she is like incredible at what she does. She has grown her business quicker than probably she even thought she'd grow it. Like, it's insane. Now, Sasha was a virtual assistant when she started working with us. And she was the typical virtual assistant that was fighting over hourly rates, something that's really common in this market. She does social media, graphic design, email inbox work. She does PA work. But Sasha was like one of the most experienced PAs out there. Like, she was incredible, and she still is. She's incredible at what she does. She has so much experience. And when I was having the conversation with her initially, I was like, look, like, the longer you spend fighting against like all of your competitors out there who are just going cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, you're just going to end up wearing yourself out. So what we need to do is we need to reframe to start actually pulling yourself out and start making yourself stand out above everyone else. So we made the decision. We switched from an hourly rate and we picked 3 key packages that she was going to sell. Donna used to work with her, amazing. And we switched to package services. We defined the process of how she was going to deliver it. We defined the process of how she was going to sell it. And we developed a promotional plan that drove clients to her. You can see here, she doesn't typically look like a typical virtual assistant. She created an outsourcing agency, which allowed her to get some of her time to start focusing on the stuff that she wanted to do. And that simple switch from fighting over hourly rates of like 15 and 20 quid an hour to switching to package services, which stood out, they're the results that they generated, Sasha. And this is the stuff that I want to work with every single one of you on. If you're in these sorts of positions where it's like, you know, you're good at what you do, but you're just not getting the business that you feel that you should be. And your product and your message is your starting point. Same goes for Jamie. So Jamie is a property educator, but also has a property investment business as well. And 2.5 years ago, his education side to his business didn't exist. I worked with him on a consulting basis, and we looked at his education company, and we're looking at ways to be able to differentiate him from the market. Now, if Jamie just went out there and launched a program that was a typical 2-day course or a 12-month mastermind, which is what the majority of the market did, then he would have just blended in with everyone else. So we reframed it, right? Because the programs that were currently being put out there in the market weren't providing these people with the solution that they wanted. It weren't delivering people the deals that they needed. So we created a proactive, actionable 84-day program that guaranteed a result at the end. And this is how we started to stand out. And we nailed that message to a point where people were coming to a workshop like this, or they were going to his website and booking a call in, going through the nurture process and speak to him and going, why have I not seen this before? The reason they haven't is because it didn't exist. Jamie is like one of the exceptions. Like, he is an absolute robot, like, in terms of what he does. He's a machine. But he's gone on to generate over, I was actually catching up. You can see the name Sam Spencer on that plaque there. I was catching up with Sam yesterday. They've done over £4.5 million in just under 2.5 years. Right? The power of getting your product and your offer right, and then having the right promotional plan alongside it. And at the end of this session, I'm actually going to be giving you the opportunity, like I had that conversation with Sam yesterday, to speak to me one-to-one. And on that conversation, we're going to be talking about your message. We're going to be talking about your current product and your offer. And then we're going to really start to pinpoint where you can make changes, if there are changes to be made. And there's 15 of them. I've got enough time between now and Monday to be able to deliver them. There's a Calendly link to use to be able to do it. But just let me know if you think one of those calls would help you. Just in the chat box, just put a yes for me, just so I know. And again, I can make sure I look back at this and collect all the names up anyway. This stuff is like, I want to give my time. I want to help you all, right? I want to make sure that we're putting the steps in place to be able to move you forward. And to finish part 1 of this, and again, I can't go into like the 100% detail of it, but I'm trying to cram as much in as I possibly can. The top tips for creating the right offer and message. The first point is working out how you can make what you do different to what everyone else is doing. It's about finding a message that disrupts and stands out. Number two is a real big top tip here. Like people don't normally say this, and I don't know why people don't like give this as advice more often. Go out there and talk to your customers. I ask them what makes you different. Ask them what made them buy for you. A lot of you on here, and I know the answer already. If I ask the question, where does your current business come from? I know a lot of you will say, oh, we get a lot of referral business. A lot of people recommend us. Now, what I want you to do is to go to the people that are referring you and go to the people that are recommending you and ask them, what are they saying about you to these people to get them to buy? Because they have got your sales message clearly understood, probably better than you have. Like, go and find out that information, because that is the gold that you need to be able to start putting that out there into the marketplace so other people can start to see it as well. With everything that you do, this is like the most important question that you can ask yourself. Why should people actually care? With every piece of content that you put out there, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why would anyone care about this piece of content? With every message that you send, why should somebody care about this message? With every landing page that you build, why should anyone care about coming to this landing page? What are they going to get? That context is how you start filling the gaps in your process to start getting people actually coming through in a predictable and sustainable manner. And the starting point is really getting into the minds of your ideal clients and working out what way you can package your offer, what way you can package your service and your product to actually solve the problem that they have. I can't tell you the amount of LinkedIn and social media training I've bought in the past, and everything says the same thing. Like, post some content. Here are a load of content themes, right? Here are a load of content ideas. I give away 100 content ideas for free because it doesn't mean anything. None of it actually matters. Like, just send some messages, just engage on randomers and your ideal clients' content in the newsfeed. Like, it's all random and sporadic, and everyone's teaching the same thing, but not actually teaching what works. So when it came to us and standing out, it was easy. It was find out the stuff that actually makes the money, which is what I've done right from the beginning. What generates revenue? What activity actually matters? And teach that. Because everything else people already know how to do because they've been told it 100 times before. But they're bored of doing it because they've tried it before and it didn't work. Once you teach the stuff that works, when you have a service that actually solves a problem that people need solving, that's when you find it. And this is the stuff that we need to go deep on. And so before I move into part number two, does part number one make sense? Is that been helpful? Is that like a little bit of an introduction to what we're talking about here? Because I think it's really important to really start at this point to give you almost, like, bearing in mind we're in a month now in summer where we've got the time to think. Donna, if you've got a question, please put it in the Q&A box. I will answer it for you, not a problem at all. But taking that step back and thinking right now is the thing that I know a lot of us don't do enough of. So give yourself a couple of hours, like block it out and sit there and you go, right, is what I'm providing as a product and service actually doing what I'm saying to my customers it should be doing? How can I make it better? How can I make it easier for them to find the solution? How can I make it quicker? How can I make it more efficient? This is where we're really putting this now. And part two is then how do we create a strategy? Once we've got, so again, real big point here. This is step one. Once you've got product, offer, connected, nailed, standing out, then you can move into creating a strategy to link it together. And this is where we move into part number two, which is creating that strategy that connects the activity with the sales opportunities. Because here's the problem. The average user, and I've said this 100 times already pretty much over the last couple of weeks, the average user believes that if they just prospect, engage, and post, they'll generate consistent results. It's wrong. If you do get results from that stuff, it's pretty much luck. And you'll be wasting time along the way, which is what I want to stop you from doing. I want you to use social media, unless you love it. I don't really love social media at all. Like, I use it as a tool. I use it, I get on it, I get off it. And unless you're a social media manager listening to this, right? Unless you're a social media manager, you have other stuff that you should be focusing on, which is going to move your business in the right direction quicker. You don't need to be spending your lives on social. at all. You need to be focusing on the stuff that matters and doing the stuff that you love. So I use it as that tool to generate attention and then drive it to the front end of my process so it solves the problems for our clients. That's it. I come on here for an hour and a half, and my aim is to blow your minds with how simple but how powerful the message is. You need to create the same sort of thing. I don't care if it's a workshop, a strategy call, a conversation, whatever. Okay, what it is, but you need to start standing out from the marketplace. And when you learn how to do that, that's when this stuff becomes easy. People are always afraid to use the word easy. This stuff is easy. It's simple. Like, it really is. It's just knowing what you need to do. Because sustainability comes from having that campaign-led approach that I said a minute ago. Now, our research shows there are 7 that we run inside of our agency. For those of you that don't know, we have an agency that runs these campaigns. We do different elements of our pipeline methodology for people. And again, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that as we go through this, right? But there are 3 campaign types that work amazingly well on LinkedIn. The 3 of them are a value add approach, which is all around giving something like that people sit back and they go, oh my God, that's amazing. So it's almost like a strategy call, so to speak. It could be a demo or a trial of your service that really wows them. It could be like if you're a property investor, it could be come and actually see one of our sites, like an investor day sort of thing. It's something that provides huge amounts of value that people go, oh my God, they're giving that away for free. All right, let's find out some more. A value add approach. So you're leading people to a point where they sit back and they go, oh my God, I'm getting this. Great. Okay, what are the next steps? Number 2 is an event. So I've talked to you about LinkedIn events already, right? We use that as a front end of our traffic source that drives traffic through to one of these workshops that you're on right now. I don't need to speak too much about that. That's the process that I'm going to show you in a second. And then number 3 is a conversation. This is what the majority of people are doing on LinkedIn, but getting wrong. Most people are sending 1, 2, 3 messages and trying to get people straight onto a phone call. The problem is that people just aren't ready at that point. You need to have a longer term focus point and actually realize that the goal of running a conversation campaign on LinkedIn isn't to get the conversation booked on LinkedIn. It's about lifting them off of the platform to a point where you can actually get content forced in front of them so they can then voluntarily go, do you know what? I want to speak to this person. I want to have a conversation. To get this working right, I need you to change your mindset. LinkedIn isn't a place where you should be spending hours and hours and hours a day on it. Not even an hour a day on it. We need to start treating it as what it is. And it's a traffic source. It's a place to get attention. It's a place to be seen. And it's a place to capture that attention and move it to a place where you have the control so you can let your process do the work. What we do behind each of these campaigns is where the magic happens, right? Is you need to start tracking the numbers. This isn't particularly sexy. I mean, it is for me, actually. I love this stuff. But I know for the majority of people, it's not particularly sexy. However, when you think about someone's social media activity, it's sporadic, right? It's, I do this, 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 and then bang, oh, I've got a lead. Great, fantastic. The problem is that there's no way of being able to track or determine through each stage whether what you're doing is actually beneficial or not. So what you need to do is map out a process from beginning to end, and then understand and set targets for yourself along the way. So at any point, and I'm going to give you an example here in a second, right? So with a link, I know to be able to hit our sales targets, I need to get 1,000 people a month to say yes to a LinkedIn event. From that LinkedIn event, I know that 50% of those people will end up coming to a Zoom workshop like this and registering. I then know that 50% of the people that register will then show up. And I know that normally on average, 10% then convert. Those numbers are set. So if I ever fall beneath those numbers, I know that whichever bit it is that's dropped below the target percentage, that's where I need to spend my time to improve my activity. And what we then do is we tweak and we test to then get it back to the target number to be able to work. And as soon as those percentages drop, that's when you look at changing and adapting to recover. You don't change because you just get this gut feeling on something. You change because the data tells you to change. And this is where we get actually power and get control over our marketing. And rather than having a LinkedIn process that looks like this is what, again, the majority of people do. And some of you might not be even doing this. And that's okay, by the way, because you just need to know what you should be doing and where you should be applying your time. but like network building, okay? When we send connection requests, we then put some content out there. And then from there, we send a message out. And then someone visits our profile. And from there, on the about section, we have a book a call, we have an email, we have a DM, right? That tends to be what happens. And if somebody does drop us a DM, it's amazing. We get a great feeling. If someone does send us an email, we get a good feeling. If someone does book a call, we get a good feeling. And here's the problem with that. It's based on LinkedIn showing your content to people. So that Monday post, Tuesday post, Thursday post, Sunday post, you have no control over who sees it. And so therefore, the power is in LinkedIn's hands. And it's very, very difficult to build a predictable process off the back end. It leads to a lack of consistency. And quite frankly, people just aren't on this platform to buy things. The moment someone sells you something, and you know it, right? I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me. Actually, let me know if it's a yeah. The moment somebody pitches you something in a DM, or you get this feeling that what they're trying to do isn't actually genuine and they're just trying to get you onto something, is the moment you push them away, right? It's the moment you either ignore them and you go, what on earth is that? Or you actually print screen it and you send it to a mate of yours and you go, why are people doing this? Like I do it all the time. And it's because we're not on a buying mindset on LinkedIn. We're on LinkedIn, quite frankly, 9 times out of 10, because we're bored. We're on it because it's just something to do. We just want to waste 30 seconds, 45 seconds. And therefore, to be able to capture attention, the majority of stuff that's happening now, it's whether you can entertain people or not. And for me, that's not where I want to spend my time. What we want to be doing is spending our time doing the right stuff. And when it comes to those call to actions on the right-hand side, where you've got book a call, email, DM me, when was the last time you actually did that? When was the last time you booked a call using or called someone off an about section on a LinkedIn profile? When was the last time you emailed someone using their email address on a profile and saying, I want to buy your services? When was the last time you DM'd someone? You just don't do it. So why do we have all of this information on our profiles? If anything, it's a distraction. What we want to be doing is having something of value to be able to lift them off the platform, to collect their email address, to spend longer, to extend the life cycle of that opportunity, to be able to build relationships with people, not in a one-to-one manner, but in a one-to-many manner where, do you know what? When they're ready to buy, when they realize they've got the problem that you solve, then and only then do they sit back and they go, I want to reach out to that person because they seem really good at what they do. It's about having a process and a campaign-led approach. So would it be helpful while I take a drink quickly to see our process, our workshop process? You can even screenshot it. I put it out there before, but would it be helpful to see it? Paula, Sam, Pamela, Ryan, Kevin, a few people. Not seen a no yet. That's always good news. People do want to see it. Good stuff. Right. There you go. And next again. I'm only joking. I'm only joking. I'm only joking. So our process looks very, very, let's say looks like it is this, right? So you lot currently are here. Live webinar bit, okay? So LinkedIn is one traffic source. We use other social media platforms in a process, again, very similar to how we use LinkedIn, process-led approach. A lot of you would have received the LinkedIn event invite. Let me know if you received a LinkedIn event invite from me for this. Then you would have received a LinkedIn message. Some of you would have been, because time's been a little bit stricken on this one for me to be able to send these messages out. But I have a LinkedIn message which basically says, don't respond to me because I know you're busy. If you're looking at utilizing social media and generating business from it, then I've got 2 things for you. I've got a content guide and I've got a YouTube video. Let me know if you've ever received that message from me, that specific message. I've got a content guide and I've got a YouTube video. What that is doing is really showcasing to you how we're different. Amanda has great stuff. Should be a few of you on there, hopefully, unless you're completely new to me whatsoever. Now, with this stuff, what I'm looking to do, because I know what we do is different, because I know this is generating results, and these results I'm going to show you in a second, there's lots of them. Because I know this stuff works, all I've got to do is showcase my message and why it's different to everything else. This stuff is powerful, right? You go and watch a YouTube video of mine and you sit there and you'll see that I am very, very blunt and honest. I don't hide anything. I'm transparent about anything. The money that we make, the way we make it, the ups, the downs. Like July was our worst month ever, right? I've done a video on that. It's on my YouTube channel. I talk about it, right? I've documented my journey from day one. July was tough. It's mainly because I had 2.5 weeks off in July, right? I had a holiday for once. However, I talk about it. And then what happens is you really start to look at like what we're doing. And if you like us, you'll spend more time watching us. If you don't, that's cool. That's fine. That's not I can't please everybody. But the process is driven. So you either go to a YouTube video or you join the email list. If you do neither, that's totally fine as well. You'll see my content in the newsfeed. I can't do anything about that. It's up to you to come to me. I can't drive every single person, but I can try. So I send my LinkedIn message. That drives you to my email list. Now, some of you would have received an email from me. I want to give you the percentages of this, right? Currently, in summer months right now, 40% of people that attend this workshop come because they've received a LinkedIn event invite from us. The 60% come from the email list, which is the bit that most people completely ignore and don't have. And this is the bit, again, the combination of all of this is what makes this work like a real nice unit. So what happens is when you're on my email list, suddenly I can put content in front of you. I can put YouTube videos in front of you. I can put loads and loads of valuable information that you won't get from LinkedIn. There's 3 emails that go out to promote this workshop. This is one campaign, by the way. There's 7 different types of this, all with specific roadmaps to follow. But this workshop process gets you to the Zoom opt-in. If you join it, you come to the live webinar. I then have a question. Did they attend? If they did, they receive 1 email. If they don't attend, they receive another. And then if you're right, then, and if the process is right, then you go through the application process to book a call in with me. And then if the service is right for you, you join it. If you don't, you've at least got some value from me from that call as well. Throughout this process, you've got 4 really powerful touch points with me. And this is what we need to build for your process. If you're going to run a workshop campaign or you're going to run a value add campaign, whatever it is, wherever you're looking to drive people to, you want a minimum of 4 powerful touch points. The 4 in this are really highly value driven free content. So that's like my YouTube videos and my videos that I put onto LinkedIn as well, my podcasts. I then have the content guide, which is point number 2, really valuable piece of literature that we've created. I also have a LinkedIn profile guide that we give away for free as well. People sell that stuff. We give it away for free. They're really valuable pieces of information. Number 3 is the workshop. And number 4 is the strategy course. So before you ever get anywhere near any of our services, you're going through 4 pieces, like 4 steps where I can actually showcase to you that I know what I'm talking about. This needs to be something similar to what you've got as well. Otherwise, you're going to be leaving opportunity on the table. Now, before we built that process, I have to, again, I've spoken about this in YouTube videos. Our results were up and down, up and down, up and down. Back in January, I put out a video of this is the first time ever that for the last 2 months, we've had predictable results. January was the point that we finally nailed this. And we've been doing it ever since, month on month on month on month on month, not just for us, but for everyone else that's come on to learn the process. So one month I'd generate £3,000. The next it would be 15. And the problem with it is that it wasn't consistent and it relied on me slogging away. Like hour after hour after hour, content piece after content piece after content piece, message after message after message. It was literally a numbers game that I couldn't actually work out whether it was working or not. And it wasn't sustainable and it wasn't scalable because the moment I went away, the moment I stopped doing what I was doing, everything just fell flat on its face. But once we got that process in place and we nailed it, we got the message right, we got the offer right and the process right. And there's the answer to this for your businesses are there. Just need some time. And like I say, that call, we'll speak about it and we'll try and work out what it is. That's where you take back control and you move into a position of strength. And it's what Joanne Sweeney did. I don't know if Joanne's on today, but Joanne has started working on a workshop process as just one example. She's got around 10,000 followers and these are the sorts of numbers, right? So you can see like the percentages are all the same. We set target percentages for each stage along that journey. So you can see that on LinkedIn, there was 89 people that showcased interest. 66 people registered for Zoom, 147, 73. And you can start to see that when the message changed, February 2022, March 2022, you can see how the numbers shifted. That's the power of the message. When you get it right, you'll see a huge spike in interest. This is the stuff that we're talking about. So it's not just about doing a workshop. It's not just about running a value add campaign. It's getting all of these little bits right to really make the big difference. And this was just one perfect example of our process. And I don't know if Caroline's on either at all, but back in February, this was when we first nailed that process, right? End of January, I sent my introductory message. You can see my message here. They're slightly changed now, but you can see them. I'm on a mission to connect, blah, 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 blah. I don't actually send that message anymore. I've stopped doing it for a short period. I'm testing something new. February 2nd, got completely ignored. February the 6th, you can see like YouTube video link. If you're interested, come here. February the 6th, that message completely ignored, blanked it. Over that period, now I don't know if she clicked that YouTube video link or not. I'm assuming that she might have done, but I didn't actually know because it's not a trackable link. Now I use a trackable link so I can see who's clicked that stuff, right? Again, something that we teach. Caroline, a month later, this was on March the 3rd or the 4th, I think, from memory. Hope you're well. Can you tell me a little bit more about the Social Selling Academy you advertise on your profile? I'm trying to work out if it's right for me or not. So she'd been seeing content in the newsfeed. She may have seen some YouTube videos. She may have downloaded the content guide. I don't know exactly what it was. However, she reached out. I want to let you into a little secret here. Our website has been under construction for nearly 3 years. If we'd have had a website, we would have most likely lost this sale. And that's just something I'm going to talk to you a lot more about at the end. But because we didn't have one, it forced a direct message. This is where your process has to be absolutely nailed. And if you've got like a website in place, you need to make sure it's connected to everything else. Otherwise, you will be leaving opportunity on the table as well. Little thing that you probably didn't realize. After Caroline messaged, I then sent her a response back very quickly, 3 hours later, saying, saw your message. What's the best number to get you on? We had a conversation. I then jumped onto Zoom with her, spoke to her about the academy. And then I sent her a replay of the workshop because the workshop is part of our process. There's no point buying our product if you can't stand me. So spending an hour listening to me on here should give you an inkling as to whether I'm the sort of person that you want to work with or not. And the teams that we have are very similar to me. So if we suit you or not. Caroline did, loved the webinar, signed up, had a few issues with the payment page, excited to get started. It's 33 days between connecting with me, ignoring me, and then a purchase. But the process is in place because it nurtures people along the way. That's how we don't leave opportunity on the table. And at this point, you don't need to put it in the chat box, but just ask yourself, how much opportunity do you reckon you've left on the table right now? From not having a process that's connected, from people going to your website and then getting a WhatsApp notification and then leaving your website and going somewhere else. This is the stuff and the reason why I'm talking about this, and I'm banging on about it so much because the money is ridiculous. So part 2, top tips for process. Think about what you can offer for free to obtain an email address. Number 1, email addresses are like gold. Number 2, identify a campaign objective and what journey your ideal clients are currently going on versus what they should be going on if you were going to have the best customer journey possible. Number 3, remember that LinkedIn is only the beginning. You shouldn't be trying to sell someone on LinkedIn. It's about understanding that the game starts when you take them off of the platform. That's where this stuff really kicks in. Number 4, build your email list every single day. You have no control over this algorithm. People's LinkedIn accounts are being hacked. People's Instagram accounts are being hacked. You have no control. You do not own your social media accounts. You do own an email address. People aren't on LinkedIn to buy. They're on there because they are bored or for their own selfish reasons trying to generate business. As long as you remember that, you're ahead of everyone else. Because you know what not to do now, and that is to not directly pitch people. It's to not promote directly your products and services. It's about putting out there stuff that's going to gain the attention and get you remembered to a point where you can earn the right to promote to these people. So that's part 2. Let me know, does that stuff make sense? If you've got any questions in the Q&A box for me, I'll answer them all at the end because I can't see it at the moment without messing up my computer. And has that been helpful as well? How are we doing for time? Cool, we're all good for time. Fantastic. Yes, Laura, my mind is blown. That's exactly what I want to hear. Amazing stuff. Awesome. So part 3, let's get going again. You've got another probably about 15 minutes, Mary Rose, all right? How to leverage your process and generate consistent and sustainable traffic using LinkedIn. 4 key parts to this. This stuff you do not do unless part 1 and part 2 is nailed. If you do, you'll miss out on opportunity. Network build, content, prospect, and email. I'm going to start with network building. Network building. It's taking the time each day to search. Like, this is part of your daily habits. Once you've got everything else in play, network building is really, really important. It's about maximizing your connection limit every single day. I send between 20 and 25 connection requests every single day. That builds my audience. Please don't take the ability of being able to send connection requests to people for granted. On Instagram, if you follow someone, they don't have to follow you back. On Facebook, you can send a friend request. Most people reject them. Don't take the ability to be able to form relationships with people for granted. Maximize these requests out. In September last year, I only had 5,500 connections. I've now got 12,000. With a bit of focus each day, you can build an audience size very, very quickly. And if people aren't accepting your connection requests, then look at your profile and ask why that might be. What you're looking for with your network building is a minimum of 50% acceptance rate. That's your target. That's network building. Content. The bit that most people overthink. People end up posting just for the sake of posting, and they're posting nitty-gritty information that people just don't care about. This is where I hope I'm not being too harsh here. But when I look at most people's content, and when I do a content review, I look at it, and the majority of stuff that they're putting out there has no intent and it's totally pointless. Like, you've got to remember the most important rule with all of this. And that's, you've got to show people what it is that you do for them to believe that you actually do it. Share your results, share the challenges, share the journey. And when you do that, that's when you'll start to see the inbound stuff of what we're talking about. It's when you make people sit back and go, wow, they actually are doing what they say that they're doing. It's real. Sam did this literally 2 weeks ago. She put this post out. How's it going? And she put this diagram out in a piece of content. You may have seen it. Off the back of that one diagram, that one process that showcases how much we know about this process stuff. Hey, Sam, just seen your post about social selling pipelines. Could you please send me some details of one of Pipeline 44's events? It's almost like the process works. And I'm really cautious of not trying to sound too arrogant here with this stuff, but it isn't difficult. It's actually really, really easy. It's just doing it and getting yourself away from everything else and just focusing for like half an hour and getting the process mapped and then getting your message and your offer done and then building out whatever the process looks like. Doesn't take long, but it will set you up to do everything else. The sort of content that we do, probably followed me for a while. In my property business, it was showing how many houses I was buying or how many houses we were managing at the time. Every single key photo was credibility, 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 credibility. The same with the bottom. You can see speaking in front of people. I would not be speaking in front of those people unless I kind of had something worth listening to, right? It's credibility. It's the same thing. This doesn't have to be speaking in front of loads of people. It could be training. It could be you sitting like right now, like as I take my photo now. Turn it back. As I take a photo now, it's about capturing the moment and documenting what you're doing. Capture the imagery. If you just tell people what you do, you're missing out on opportunity. Show them what you're doing, right? Capture the moment. Joe Britton did this amazingly well. If you're still online, Joe, say hello. Say hello, Joe. Captured workshops amazingly well. Her lipstick video went viral. It was something different. Hello, Joe. Nice to see you. This is about demonstrating who you are and what you do and why you're better than everyone else at what you do. Right? It's about believing it, owning it, nailing it. The more that you show, the more business comes your way. This is the thing and the barrier that we help people go. You can see Joe there. She's got an image of a Zoom call that she put out there. It's credibility. Again, how can you capture what it is that you do? Joe Taylor's a social media mentee of ours. He's on our academy. We've got him to do the exact same thing. Social proof. Every client he showcases that he's working with, every call that he does, he captures the moment. It's about demonstrating like the real stuff that you're doing and how you're helping people. The more that you show, the more that you'll do. The more business comes your way. Creating the right message and then getting it to a point where you can deliver it. Like, it isn't easy. I know it's not. This stuff isn't like stuff that people feel natural with. And what I mean by that is like, sometimes taking photos of yourself is a bit uncomfortable, right? Putting your face out there can be a little bit like uneasy at times, but that's what having the community is all about. That's what being a part of people that are there to support you is all about. And we're always we're always receiving content, should I say, from people. And before they put it out there online, we'll give them the feedback. We'll tell them how to improve it. We'll tell them what to say. Like literally it was last week in the academy, we ran a video challenge. Every day people had to put out, not everyone, whoever wanted to take part, put in a video following the structures that we teach. And then I watched every single one and gave them feedback on how they could get better. Like you don't put it out on social media unless you feel comfortable to, but you put it in the community so we can all get to know each other a bit more and we all can start improving. The videos that you put in on day 1, and then you compare that to day 5, they're totally different, chalk and cheese. It comes with practicing and practicing in an environment where you feel safe. To get yourself out there, like demonstrate how you're making a difference and then collect the content as you go. Step 2 is content. Step 3 is then prospecting. So prospecting isn't about making a sale after 3 messages. It's not about initiating a conversation and moving people like just straight to a phone call, right? It's about understanding your process and moving people down that process. That's it. Think about your campaigns and ask yourself, answer the question, write it down now. What is the objective with my campaign? Where am I looking to take people to? Start with LinkedIn, end with buying your product, and then draw out a process step by step that you can start to build that's going to effectively move people along. Like I said, we provide 4 big pieces of value before the point of sale. That's key to our whole sales process. We need people to want to work with us. If they don't want to work with us, that's totally fine. But you don't want to be wasting your time speaking to people that don't want to work with you. You want to be having conversations that you're going to love and going to enjoy, and because people want to be helped. And this whole process of prospecting is like the starting point of how we build that know, like, and trust with anyone that has an interest in achieving the outcome of how to get more clients on LinkedIn. If that's an objective that people want, then, and they like us, we want them to reach out to us. That's it. That's all we're looking to do on LinkedIn. Utilize it for what it's there for. Now, the reality is sometimes it's difficult to see what changes you need to make. I get it. And one of the things that we love to do is review campaigns for people. So we look at every step of the process. We help people structure their workshops. We watch back webinars. We watch back workshops that people deliver. We spend time with people, helping them get their lead magnet right. Maritza, you're on here right now. We've been going through your lead magnet recently. Like we spend time one-to-one creating that strategy inside of the group to get it working. And we lay down the roadmaps for you to follow. It's just step by step. Like step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Step 3, do this. Don't go and do anything else. Just follow each step as you go. Fred is someone that joined us a few weeks ago. Fred's now looking at his whole workshop process, revitalizing it and getting it out there with a message that's going to really land. You won't be able to read that, but again, this was a lady that sent us across a lead magnet to review. I finally feel back in control. Now she's got some structure around what she's doing. And that one's even smaller. That is feedback that I sent on Tuesday. I can't even see the date. It was July the 27th, I think, to 2 ladies that run a consulting service. I reviewed their whole process end to end for them. Gave them all the feedback that they needed. This is the stuff that we love to do, and it's what will help you do. And then the 4th step is email. The bit that everyone seems to neglect. It's the most underestimated part of this whole process. And again, like our hot traffic, our hot leads, the best business that comes our way, the people that are ready to buy, 75% of that comes from our email list. It's something that we focus on, like me and the team every single day are looking at building this every single day so we can then send our 1 weekly email out, just providing enough value so people don't unsubscribe. The reality is people will unsubscribe from it. That's totally fine. They're not right for us right now. They'll join back when they are. What we then do is a part of that process, like I showed you earlier, is send 1 to 2 promotions a week, pushing a workshop or a strategy call with me or one of our sales team. That's it. And then over the last 10 days, it's actually about 15 days now, and the number is now 4. I need to update that. But our email list has generated 4 Academy members and a new agency client. It's generating business for us time and time and time again. We need to get your email list in place. We need to build it, and then we need to make sure that we use it. And when you get it right, that's when the daily habits that you're probably doing right now start to work. So Darren runs a workshop event campaign. His offer makes it a total no-brainer for people to join. When you have a message that then stands out, it all kicks into gear. It all works. It started 2 years ago and hasn't looked back. He makes on average £1,300 a day from this program. He's a financial services provider. He absolutely kills it. Now, I know what you're saying. This is something I'm going to breeze through so you can screen grab it. But like, what do you say in your emails? This is what you say, right? Video trainings and tutorials. So my YouTube videos, I promote them. Really, really highly valuable stuff. Again, this is something that you can send out. I send value-added insights. So all the research that we're doing, we anything that's product or service-based, we will look at and we'll send information on. We promote workshops on there. We have strategy call sequences for people to book onto. And then we have also newsletter-based content. Someone's asked whether this is newsletter via LinkedIn. No, this is not newsletters via LinkedIn. Newsletters via LinkedIn, they're a good tool, but you don't get the email addresses. The email addresses are the thing that you want to be able to consistently market to people. Now, I know I've breezed through that. I've done that because of time, right? But I'm going to do some more of this as we go through. Here's some top tips for promotion for you. Never stop building the amount of connections that you've got. Build it every single day. That opportunity won't be there forever. Don't post for posting's sake. Stay consistent. Spend the time creating a message that drives people through a process. Don't try to get them on a call straight away. And then build that email list. Use it and make money from it. That is the bit that most people miss. And I want to really get your mindset changed to, I'm using LinkedIn to build the email list to then be able to generate the money. The email list is the bit in the middle where you're going to get a lot of value from. To start generating these leads that you're looking for consistently. Forget right now about posting loads and loads of content. Like, forget about it. You don't need to spend time worrying about whether the algorithm is going to show your content or not. You just don't. Like, you need to put out content, yes. You need to showcase what you do, yes. But it's not about posting volume here. It's just about showing up each day with the process in place, not spending your time doing pointless stuff like leaving comments on people's content that you don't really care about. What you need is a product that solves a problem, packaged in the right way that people understand. You need a process in place that effectively nurtures it. I told you this stuff was going to be simple, that nurtures a person to a point where they want to buy from you. And then you just need the promotional plan to generate the traffic. Like, I know how passionate the majority of you are. There'll be a few of you that don't really care, right? I know that. But the majority of you will be passionate about what you do. But we need to get your business to a point where it generates you those consistent results. You need this process built. You need this message identified. You need the promotional plan to connect it all together. And that's what I want to talk to you a little bit about now. So whilst I quickly grab a quick drink, that we will be doing the Q&A at the end, just so you're all aware. This is going to take me about 10 minutes to go through, probably 5 actually, if I go through it quickly. But would you like to hear a little bit more about how we can work together a little bit further, just so I have a little bit of an inkling of whether this has been valuable enough for you to be able to, if I've earned the right to be able to talk about it all? Whilst I take my drink. Kevin Bromwell, good stuff, awesome stuff, good. I have earned the right. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Cool. So this is for you, not just if you want to work with me, but if you want to work with Sam and Nick and also all of our team as well, to help build this process. Now, you can put your wallets and your purses away. You can't buy this straight away. It's an application process. So you have the opportunity to book that call with me. There's a form that you need to fill out to be able to book that call in. And then from there, we'll then be able to work out if it's right for you. Simple as that. This whole process is how you turn and utilize your social media activity and turn it into clients. That's it. So if you want to learn how to go like generate millions of impressions, this isn't for you. This isn't about going viral. This is about generating business. This is about spending the least amount of time on social as possible to get the results that you need to meet your objectives and move on. It's about building a system that works. That's what this is all about. And that's what Joe's done. That's what the other just under 200 members have now done and are still doing day in and day out. What we have built is a step-by-step system for you to follow. It's a process, right? It's just simple. And what we're going to do to start with is get you to create a product offering that stands out, create a message that stands out. We're then going to show you how to frame that message so your ideal clients start paying more attention, so you're not blending into the newsfeed. We're then going to get you to pick a campaign type that's best for your digital marketing strategy. And then we're going to show you step-by-step how to create that campaign. We're then going to show you how to effectively generate the traffic. So whether it's a workshop campaign, show you how to utilize LinkedIn events and how you utilize lead magnets to drive people to these workshops to hit your desired objectives. And then we're going to help you build the nurture sequences in the middle, which again sounds complicated. It's not. It's very simple to a point where people are ready to buy from you. This is stuff that people are doing day in, day out right now. There are a number of people that you will see on LinkedIn that are in our academy and you won't even know. You will see them as soon as you join Slack. You'll see the names and you'll go, I didn't realize you're in here. But like the results that we're talking about are happening every single day. This was in July. These two are most recently. So you can see here, like the person sent me a message through. He joined 3 weeks ago. Client number 2 secured, £250 a month now, just starting people out on the £125 packages, plan to build them up to 250, then 500 through a workshop. Again, on the right-hand side there, you can see like what I think the line that I'm looking for is my aim is to sell 1 a month. Since working with you, I've sold 1 in July, 1 in August, and 1 for November. Simple. Build the process, it works. We have taught lots and lots of people this stuff, and it's even more in detail now. Like the stuff that we are teaching is making a difference every single day. And you only have to follow my YouTube to see me sharing some of the stuff that we're doing. I share my journey every single day with what we're doing. I document it. You can see it. I journal it. I'm testing everything that we do. The portal looks a little bit like this. So it's 2-part. You have the training portal, which has got all the step-by-step processes that you need to build and follow. We run a weekly Q&A coaching session. It's on a Monday. We run it together. So everyone joins the group session. We get anything between 10 up to 40 people. And it's all about accountability on that call. It's like, come and ask your questions. We're going to drive action through it. All of those sessions are recorded and everything is accessible on this portal. So everything that you need is on this portal. Everything that we do is action driven. So it's watch it, implement it, go again to the next one. Step 1, step 2, step 3. If you go off this process and start doing random stuff, you're just going to slow yourself down. Just follow the process. That's all I'm asking you to do. If you get stuck, you ask me. You ask the group. We'll help you every step of the way. Inside of the package, there's 12 months access to the training program. So it's £150 a month for 12 months. Just someone's already asked it. That's the price. It's £150 a month for 12 months. You get 12 months access and also to those roadmaps. So step-by-step how to deliver. Your hand is held. That's the biggest thing with us. It's not just a training program that you're left to consume. Your hand is held step-by-step to build a digital marketing strategy that converts. You get direct guidance around your sales process, your offer, your funnel, your content, and your campaigns. We're going to step-by-step take you through all of it, and we're going to give you feedback on each step. That says monthly because they used to be monthly Q&As. We now do them weekly. We've increased it. So every single week, Monday, 12 o'clock, I am there. Well, it's going to be me, Sam, or Nick. One of us will be there to go through and drive you through this process. Get access to our workshop, email, content, and campaign templates. So like you get copies of our presentation templates like this for you to be able to just overwrite. We have the email templates for you to be able to download and use. We have our viral content stuff. So the content that has gone viral for us, we've got that templated. And also the campaign maps, like the process maps, they're there for you as well. You get access to me and our team to give you practical feedback. This is inside of Slack. So inside of Slack, you get access to be able to talk to us, to get feedback on everything that you do. And then we run bi-weekly challenges, like I mentioned before. So 2 weeks ago, we ran a video challenge. No, last week, we ran a video challenge. We're going to run that video challenge again next month because people really loved it. And you win prizes for the most active member. I need to announce the video challenge prize. If you're in the academy, could you do me a favor? Could you drop me a message in Slack and remind me to do the prize for the challenge winner for the video? Because I haven't done it yet. But we announce prizes. Those prizes could be one-to-one calls with us. They could be like a group mastermind session that we run for people. There's some great prizes in there as well. And again, like I said, it's £150 a month. We've made it accessible for absolutely everyone. You're not paying up front. It's 150 quid to get going. To really get this moving. You literally need the majority of you on here. Sam said this to me yesterday and it made absolute sense. Like over this period, you need to make one more sale. Like all of this information, you make one sale, everything else is cream on top. It was a really good thing that he said and it really helped me. And I said I'd say it on here today. We're here to support you. That's the biggest thing, right? You can see on Slack here how it works. That's how it looks. We're now up to 200 people, so it's not 170, but our community are very strong. We all help each other every single day. We share ideas. And whether it's profiles, messages, campaigns, yes, Steve, it is £150 plus VAT. And the VAT is always on top. I should put that in there, actually. That's a good point. But yeah, £150 a month plus VAT. Send it in and we'll give you feedback on everything. Like the reality is, I say this in my content all the time, I'm fed up of people wasting their time on social. Stop wasting your time. If you commit to us and you work with us, we'll work with you and we'll get it working. It's the same with every single person that works with us. If you want proof of it, if you go to my LinkedIn profile, there's people that have left recommendations that are actually said about the support that you get. For 150 quid a month, people charge an absolute fortune for the support that you get that we provide in this. This is about our overall business strategy, which I'll talk to you more about on the call and how it works and why we provide the level of support that we do for the price that we charge. There are testimonials because of time. Look, I don't need to sit here and just read them. They're there, right? Again, if you ever have any doubt, just Google Sam, come onto LinkedIn and check me out. Look at my YouTube content. I share everything. I've got nothing to hide. It's all there for you to see. Now, with the strategy calls, they're first come, first serve. You get the ability to book in your call. It's a Calendly link that you're going to. You fill out the questions, you're booking your time. First come, first serve. There's slots on there for you to be able to book in. To be able to book in one of those calls, it's pipeline44.com/apply. That's all you need to do. Type in pipeline44.com/apply, pick your time, and then fill out the form, and you're good to go. That's all you need to do. That's to get your call with me. Okay, simple. Pipeline44. I'll put it in here for you. Some of you are asking, where's my mouse gone? There we go. https www.pipeline44.com/apply. They're half-an-hour calls. We spend half an hour talking. It's my chance really to get to know you, work out like what you're about, how it works. I'm going to obviously go into the Q&A now, but that's everything that you get. And if you've got any questions, please use the Q&A box. I'm going to open that up now. But just before I do so, has that been helpful? Has that been worth your time today? Let me know if that's been worth your time and been useful while I take a drink. Helpful. That's good news. Yes, definitely. Great value. Defo. Yes, thank you. Good. Paula, Kevin, Jake, Jeremy, Donna, I appreciate you a lot. Thank you very much. Right then. Pipeline44.com/apply. Let me stop sharing that. Can you all see me again? Let's go Q&A, shall we? Let's get this Q&A sorted. So, morning. Hello. Right, I'm just going to answer that one. That one's done. Recording would be much appreciated. That's fine. Am I single? No, I'm not single. Sorry. It's quite a good one. I help early year nurseries achieve nutritious menus. I'm new back to LinkedIn and after content support and lead generation. Cool, perfect. Yes, every question I will answer. Where you say about LinkedIn and the opportunity not being around for long, is this because of the time of year? What do you think is causing this? Maritza, the reason for engagement dropping is because of the amount of ads being now distributed and displayed on the platform. So around about 2 months ago, you would have probably seen one sponsored ad in the newsfeed every 20 posts. Now, that change over the last few weeks has meant that now you can see an ad every 4 to 5 posts. So the amount of newsfeed space for content has been significantly reduced. If you think about it, every time that you log on, there's only a certain amount of space for people's content to be. So the more ads that are there, the less organic reach is going to be for everyone else. That's why, and therefore that's why the process matters more than anything else, because the messaging and the way you connect your messaging with your email process and everything else that you're doing and getting your message right, that's how you start to earn the rights to be able to trend in the top part of people's news if I hope that helps. If you need more clarity on that, just let me know. Right, let me go through. Is this a LinkedIn Live? What is the platform you're using to run this workshop? I'm using Zoom. It's not a LinkedIn Live. No. What I want is I want people to provide me with their email addresses. So running a LinkedIn Live doesn't give me the opportunity to do that. Plus, with LinkedIn Lives, people are more likely to disappear and do something else. Whereas with these, I'm more likely to grab people's attention. That's what I want. Okay. So I don't want people getting distracted too much. I want people paying attention and getting value from it. And if they give us the email address, then I can do that. We need to talk. That's fine. We'll talk. Just going back a step. Colette has asked, just going back a step, clarifying your target market is tricky. I'm an established VO, but ultimately I could target many businesses. Do you have any advice on refining your target market initially? Apologies, the above statements was for the chat box. That's cool. That's fine. In terms of clarifying your target market, like most people overthink this stuff and they try to go too narrow. For us, it's like, at this current point in time, who's going to get the most benefit? that's going to be more likely to listen to you right now. And that's a process. That's a step that you have to go through inside of what we do. However, if you just think about it, look at all of your customers right now, or your previous customers that you've had. Who were they? What demographic were they? Was it a complete mix, or were they having some sort of similarities? You need to pinpoint that. And once you've pinpointed it, you can then start to target your content to a certain demographic and then broaden it out as you go. So you don't have to overthink that too much. We'll help you with it. But the most important thing is that the thing that you're putting out there, the message that you're putting out there does land with them and does resonate with them. How soon after connecting with them on LinkedIn do you start sending those messages? Straight away. As soon as someone connects with me, I normally do it. So I habit stack. So I do my daily habits in the morning. So whenever I'm on the bike, so I jump on the bike, I do my half-an-hour spin, and literally I just send my messages whilst I'm doing that half an hour. That's when I get my activity done. Then it's done, and I don't have to worry about it ever again. All right, until the next day, anyway. Answer live, done. Answer live. How do you get people's emails? So that is either via a lead magnet and a landing page, or via a Zoom registration like this if it's a workshop campaign. Depends on your campaign type, but landing pages, we use software like MailChimp, or you can use ActiveCampaign, or you can use any of the others that are out there. Again, there's tutorials in the academy that teach you how to set this up button by button, click by click. That question gets asked a lot. Some people suggest LinkedIn ads are automated growth of network, i.e. volume versus quantity. Volume versus quality. What are your thoughts on this? I've tried automation in the past. The problem is that LinkedIn are really hot on it right now, and people's accounts are being banned because of it. So I don't recommend it whatsoever. It only puts your accounts at risk. LinkedIn ads is something that I mentioned at the beginning. I'm going to test towards Q4 of this year. I want to maximize organic. Organic is the most powerful lead generation source currently, and the opportunity is there. I want to maximize it whilst it's there. With the LinkedIn ads, I'm going to look. I'm also going to look at YouTube ads, which I'm going to report back, and the academy will receive information on that when I've done it. I need to test it first. Facebook and Instagram is too expensive for us right now. I work with a lot of ads providers in the space. They're like in my network, and I speak to a lot of them. Ad costs have gone through the roof. TikTok is something to explore, but B2B, LinkedIn ads, something to look at and test. Right now, I don't need to, but I will be looking at them in Q4. What time on Mondays are the lives? 12 p.m. They're always recorded, though. They are always recorded, and you can submit any questions beforehand, and then you can obviously watch the recordings back as well. Paula, can you join at any time in the year? Yes, you can. Current academy members that are still on, you will know this already. Like, the price of this program is increasing as we add more and more detail to it. So like the increase of the amount of Q&As that we did has caused the price increase. Every quarter, the price will slightly go up. I mean, the way of the world right now, I mean, I'm hoping all of your products and services are going up slightly to try and compensate for everything else that's going on. It's crazy, isn't it? But you can join at any point in the year. It's whenever I run these workshops, you can apply at any point. What I would say is that come and have the conversation. We can talk about it. What if you are a couple? It's per business. So like I say, for each, I guess, subscription that you buy, you get an extra slot. So if you're a couple, your business partner comes along for the same membership. Cindy, you said talk to customers. What makes you different? What if you are starting out and don't have that to fall back on? Same thing with creating statistical proof. Starting out, you just don't have that yet. I started in this position. I initially started off with doing things at a lower cost to get those case studies and testimonials through, to get that data. Whatever product or service, that was what I did. That was how I looked at doing it. I wanted to make sure that my product and service worked. So I did it for very low cost. And for a couple of people, I did it for free. Once I got my confidence in it, I then started to increase my pricing as I went. Instead of talking to customers, if you don't have customers right now, again, do what I said. Start out lower, get the feedback. The feedback at the beginning, and I'm talking like after like a week, that first week of doing it, get that feedback. That will then give you the information to know exactly how you need to market and how you need to sell it. And that's where you work with us to be able to work out that answer. Graham, so with the marketing, more specifically with email, how can I prepare weekly emails that I can have going out that aren't essentially just, have you read my email? And do you want to talk about our dialer? You need to think about what your ideal clients would want to hear and want to see. So again, you can look at all your ideal clients on LinkedIn, and you can go to see all of their activity, and you can see what it is that they're looking at. You can see what they're engaging in. And again, from then you collect that information, you do the research, you look at your industry news. There's like loads of content ideas that you can do. The content ideas isn't the problem. Like I say, what you've got to do is come up with what that structure looks like and what that content plan looks like to be able to put it out there. But research is the answer to that. Have you tried a LinkedIn lead form for events? Jeremy, I have not, actually. I will have a look at that. I've never looked at that before. How much do you think the academy benefits a sales employee that would be funding themselves? Hugely. Like, again, with this stuff, this is, again, about helping your business that you work for as a salesperson, one, like improve their processes, because what we've had is salespeople be a part of this and like share the information that they're learning with their marketing and sales departments for them to sit back and go, oh, I didn't even realize that. They become an even more valuable asset. Plus the skills of content prospecting and doing this to a point where you can actually start to nurture somebody off of the platform. It's hugely powerful. We have salespeople in this community for that reason. That's why they're a part of it, to learn those skills. LinkedIn ads for webinars and events, yes, but I can't say they'll work or not until I've tested them, Extine. So eventually I will have the answer to that. Currently, I just use LinkedIn events, my email list, and then my lead magnets to build the traffic up. We're doing it for 25 years for another company and have a contract not to approach them. Was that your above question, Cindy? Where's your question? I've lost your question. Feel free to add more. If we get time, I'll come back to that for you. It's not a problem. Right, that's all the questions come through. I hope that's been helpful. There's still a number of you still online. I hope that's giving you some value and you've got some stuff to take away and to be able to get some results straight away, even if it's just from this. Obviously, if you have any questions, and please reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn. Come and connect with me. Direct message me. I respond to everything that comes my way. And for those of you that have booked your call, I look forward to speaking to you as well. I don't know when people have booked the call. Some of them may have them this afternoon, some tomorrow, some Friday. But like I say, I'm here for whenever you need me. Always here to answer any questions that you've got. Have an amazing day. Enjoy this absolutely ridiculously hot weather. I'm going to go and get a drink and chill out a bit. But I will see you all very, very soon. Peace.